Game over, man. It's game over.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Nostalgia from the beautiful Welsh mountains. That's right, I took a couple of weeks off to hike the Welsh coast, and I promised myself no work. But I couldn't help myself. Ever since we put up our top 10 favourite SNES games, I have had loads of requests to do an NES list. I bloody love the NES. It was my first ever console. It was released in 1985, the year before I was born. And for those of you doing the maths at home, it means I am old as balls. This is where I cut my teeth. This is where I started my love of games. And to this day, the NES is one of my all-time favourite consoles. But before we start counting down the list, there is a little spoiler. You will not see a Zelda game in this list or any other list. Shocker, I have never played a single Zelda game in my life. Don't lynch me, get in the comments, let me know, am I missing out? It's just something I never got around to. I never liked the Zelda games. So apart from that, let's do it. Let's count down our top 10 favourite NES games. Let's get it. Batman the video game just makes it into the top 10, and when you see the honourable mentions in a bit, you'll understand why. Not included in them is even things like Contra, Mega Man, Castlevania, Kirby, classics, but top 10, Batman the video game. Now, I have never made a secret of my love for Batman 1989. It is the best film ever made. Keaton is Batman, and of course, I love the game as well. And as a little kid, getting to step into Batman's cape, you're throwing batarangs at Joker's henchmen. There is nothing that could beat that feeling. To this day, one of the finest superhero games ever made. I could never get bored of this game. Super Mario Bros. 2, the first Mario game on this list, and trust me, it will not be the last. And Super Mario Bros. 2 is a weird one. This game is kind of the ginger kid in the Mario Bros. Family. Yeah, it is a Mario game, but it doesn't feel like it. Mario games seem to have a rhythm, a feel, a pattern. You know, you can go from the OG Mario to Mario 3, Super Mario World on the SNES, up to Mario 64. They all have the same feel. But Super Mario Bros. 2 doesn't really fit in with those games, and it all came down to ambition from Nintendo. Now, you could play as Mario, Luigi, Toad, Princess Toadstool, and each character felt different when you played with them. And now you could pick up weapons out of the ground. You could even pick up the bad guys and launch them at each other. This game really divides Mario fans, but for me, I love it. But there is a lot better Mario games to come.
Rampage!
Now, when I think of Rampage, my first thoughts aren't of the NES game. I remember vividly playing this at the arcades in Rill. And I also remember begging my brothers to get it for the NES when we got back from the seaside. And what is not to love? You pick your favourite monster, George, Lizzie or Ralph. I always went with George the Gorilla, and then you smash up buildings and cars until your heart is content. I played Rampage just the other day at Pixel Busters Arcade, and I could feel the little kid in me coming to life as I destroyed cities. Paperboy is a game I have played since before I can remember playing. It is an all-time classic. Every NES owner in the 80s and early 90s had this game, and my god, it is fantastic. As much as I love modern games like Grand Theft Auto or Fallout, with massive open worlds and endless missions, something as simple as Paperboy. This is what gaming was, is, and always should be what gaming is all about. Why the hell haven't Nintendo added Paperboy to the Switch? An all-time classic, Paperboy deserves its spot on this list. Now, this was a tough one because I had to choose between Chip 'n Dale, Rescue Rangers, and DuckTales. Both Saturday morning classics with outstanding games. But I had to give it to Chip 'n Dale. The gameplay on this is incredible. This game is over 35 years old, but it holds up so well, to the point that my 12-year-old daughter loves to play this game. And I can't say that about any other game on this list. In fact, I can't say that about any other game made before 2020. She doesn't play old games, but she loves this one. And of course, a massive reason Chip 'n Dale makes the top 10 is that kick-ass 8-bit soundtrack of the Rescue Rangers theme tune. It's epic. One of the core memories in my life is the NES box we had. I remember it so clearly because growing up on a council estate in Manchester, we didn't have a lot, so our mum made us take care of what we have, which meant every time we played the NES, we had to put it back in the box, or my mum would get the slipper out, and nobody wanted that. I remember that box so much. We had the action set NES. It would come with the original Mario, Duck Hunt, and that badass gun. We could not play Duck Hunt in our bedroom because the TV we had in our bedroom was from the 70s and shite, so we could only play it on the big telly downstairs. So many hours as a family bonding over Duck Hunt. Before the Wii, before Mario Party, before Mario Kart. This is how we bonded. And because of that, Duck Hunt will always hold a special place in my heart. You know, I wonder how much an original Duck Hunt and the gun will cost me in 2024. Or do I not want to know? The NES was my brother's console. I was only allowed to play it when they weren't around. But then they bought me my first ever video game. Simpsons, Bart vs. the Space Mutants was the first game I owned, and I played it over and over and over again. The Simpsons is a staple. It's iconic. But I feel like people take it for an advantage nowadays, like it's just a part of everybody's lives. I lived and loved the Simpsons craze in the early 90s. I owned it all, the VHS tapes that only had like 3 episodes on from the first series, Bart the Genius, Call of the Simpsons, Bart the General. I had the cassette tape of Do the Bartman, I wore the knockoff t-shirts. I was a Simpsons nut, and now I could play a Simpsons computer game at home. That was massive in my life. And I know that now when I play Bart vs. the Space Mutants, it doesn't hold a candle to the likes of Hit and Run, Road Rage. But this meant the world to me, and it will always be one of my favourite Simpsons games. That's right, the OG Mario makes the top 3, as it should. I would assume everybody would have Super Mario Bros. Really high up on their list. I can't put into words how much Mario is a massive part of my life. I played Super Mario World on the SNES till my fingers blistered as a kid. I would bust out Mario Party on the N64 at sleepovers, and to this day, Me and my kids love to play Luigi's Mansion and Mario Kart on the Switch. I'm a grown man and I'm covered in Mario tattoos. It all started here with Super Mario Bros. On the NES. Mario is older than me, so I don't remember the first game I ever played, but I can pretty much guarantee you it was Super Mario Bros. On the NES. I would have been a snot-nosed little fat ginger kid at the age of 3 or 4, and my brothers would teach me how to play computer games with this. And that feeling when Bowser would smash through those bricks into the lava at the end of this game, I can never get that feeling back. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon in the late 80s and early 90s is legendary. It's the reason we got out of bed on a Saturday morning. And it was perfect to be changed into a computer game. The characters, the theme, the action, the bad guys. I love this game so much. You could pick your favourite turtle to play as. And I'm ashamed to say, even though Michelangelo was always my favourite, I never played as him in this game because his nunchucks were less than useless in this game. You needed to be Donnie. With that staff, if you wanted to have any chance of completing this game, you had to be Donnie. And sweet Jesus, if you did manage to complete this game, you deserve a medal, a statue, because this game was so hard. It was a game based off a Saturday morning cartoon, but it was so ridiculously hard. Especially that Hudson Dam level, disarming those bombs underwater. It was damn near impossible. I had to get my big brothers to do it for me every time. And this was on the NES. There were no memory cards. There was no saving your game. If you die, you start all over again. Every kid from the 80s will know this. They will have had a notepad with handwritten cheat codes and level codes. God, I miss those days. The beauty of something like up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, start. Now, I can't remember my phone number. I can't remember my anniversary, but that shit is ingrained in my brain forever. And are we all ready for number 1? Well, I think you all know what's coming. Super Mario Bros. 3 was always going to be number 1. It isn't just one of the greatest Mario games. It isn't just the best NES game. Super Mario Bros. 3 is one of the greatest games ever made. This list hasn't been easy to make because I've been piecing together memories from over 35 years ago when I was a toddler. So a lot of these games are based off games that I still love. But I remember every single detail of Super Mario Bros. 3. I remember that bright yellow case that stood out against all the other black and grey NES games. I remember the handbook in the case that I would read from front to back waiting for my brothers to let me play. It would tell you all about the different characters and power-ups. It was beautiful. I remember watching the adventures of the Super Mario Bros. 3 cartoon. Hell, what am I doing? I still watch it on Prime now. I love that cartoon. I remember before there was YouTube, before there was Reddit, there were whispers and rumours on the playgrounds about cheats and hidden levels, like crouching behind a bush so you could get a whistle that could make you skip levels. But mostly, I remember the sheer joy this game would bring to me, and it still does bring me joy every time I play it. Like I said, the OG Mario was my first gaming experience, and then we had a bit of a misstep with Super Mario Bros. 2. But Super Mario Bros. 3 delivered on every level a Mario game should. And I'm not saying that from somebody who played it in the early 90s. To this day, this game holds up against all modern Mario games, and it's nearly 40 years on. It's legendary. God damn, I love the NES. I have always been a Nintendo guy, and this was where it all began for me. Now, I am begging you guys, please get in the comments, because I want to know, did you have a similar experience to me? Was the NES your first console? Because I'm assuming most of the viewers are going to be younger than me. So how did you get into the NES? And what are your favourite games on this Hall of Fame caliber console? Right guys, I'm off to go back on my holiday because I'm literally recording this in a cabin in the Welsh mountains. I don't know if you can tell by the audio, but yeah, I'm literally in the middle of nowhere. But I've got the night off, I'm in the cabin, I'm going to relive my childhood, I'm going to eat some flumps, drink a glass of Nesquik and destroy some buildings on Rampage. I'll catch you guys on the next one. G out.